let's take a look at this. Because again, this is contextual in terms of we just saw Hypnotic's we saw Hypnotic's video about Savvy earlier, and she just put this out an hour ago about Collective Shout framing her. I'm curious how Collective Shout is trying to frame Savvy. So let's do this, because if I can, if me posting a video on this can give her some better reach regarding what Collective Shout is doing to her, I will fucking do it. So let's take a look and see what's going on with her.
I'm being framed and vilified by Collective Shout and their ridiculous friends. Not only have I been portrayed as a man by Collective Shout on their website, violating Australian law as they misgender me with intent to vilify, but now they're...
Hang on. When men who rape and claim blah, 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 we saw that. This woman, blah, blah, blah. You're gross little pedo censorship piggy. Tell me, how does this help women being raped in the UK by men who don't play games? Which we've said. Savvy said it. I've said it. Just about everybody has said it that actually has a functioning brain. Just about everybody has said this doesn't help women and girls. It's not only women, it's also girls who are being assaulted in the UK.
Friends are doing it too, and it is getting a bit dangerous. The language is ramping up, and here is a group that claims to be against online hate, spreading lies to me. Not only do they not actually prove anyone is lying in their big long blog post, but they...
Let's see, incitement. Okay, the attention directed to Collective Shout over the game ban has spread to other discussions. Incitement to violence on Reddit. An otherwise sensible Reddit discussion. Okay, that's an oxymoron in and of itself. Sensible Reddit discussion. Of proposed internet ID laws in Australia linked to this tweet contain disinformation about members of Collective Shout. Oh, the Guardian has covered the Collective Shout shenanigans, but blanky blank was appointed to the Stakeholder Advisory Board for the government's age assurance technology. She will be part of the body that decides how censorship is enacted. This woman's anti-abortion, anti-vax, anti-expression, anti-woman. She wants to ban adverts, bakeries from cheeky jokes, shun any company raising money for breast cancer. Wrong. Lies about video games being marketed to kids. Wants Detroit to become human ban, but defends cuties. I see no lies right here. I see no lies whatsoever here. And by the way, this wasn't on Reddit. This is on fucking Twitter. She has labeled me as a man. She has lied endlessly. She threatened to sue another woman for daring to speak against her in 2012. No wonder they think they're god emperors. I knew she was having meetings with officials, but I was looking at finance, not this. This is bad.
They also claim that I am personally responsible for the hate and violence Collective Shout is getting. They do this while also censoring me, as if hiding my username and the fact that I'm speaking of Melinda.
They posted this.
Is going to change anything, but they do the username and the fact that I'm speaking of Melinda is going to change anything, but they do this to intentionally portray me as a man because the minute that they say a woman is pushing back, they lose their narrative. Remember, they're trying to paint men as the antagonizers, but if they attribute an incitement to violence to a woman, people are going to ask questions. Also, please show me where the incitement to violence was, because there is none in that post. If anything, you just actually make people want to poke holes in what they're doing. Not only is everything that I said...
And she's exactly right. And honestly, if this were to impact Savvy financially, like if Collective Shout claiming that Savvy is inciting violence, by the way, again, to say fucking Reddit, this is Twitter. There's the subscribe and grok button right there. This did not occur on Reddit. Oh wait, link to this tweet. Oh, never mind. I misread. Yeah, it was linked to this tweet. Never mind. Okay. And so, yeah, they're indicating that her tweet is an incitement of violence. If Savvy could prove that she was financially impacted by this statement, by the collective cunts, she might actually have a defamation lawsuit case or a slander case. But again, with Slater cases, they're tough as hell to pull because Savvy would need to provide evidence that she was financially impacted by what Collective Shout did. It's why slander cases are incredibly difficult to prove. The reason why Ethan is able to do a slander is able to do his case against the Trinity of Bitches is because they actually said, watch my stream, don't watch his video, so he doesn't make money. Savvy would need to somehow prove that this cost her money in ad revenue by keeping people away from her channel, and realistically, she's not going to be able to do that. So it's very easy to say, like, oh, this is slander. Okay, colloquially speaking, yes, but legally speaking, probably not. Honestly.
To actually make people want to poke holes in what they're doing. Not only is everything that I said true because they are Melinda's own words, but you can see it for yourself on the websites. So I'm not really sure what misinformation is being spread by this NGO.
There is
none.
none.
I read parts of her books, read her own tweets, listened to her. Not once have I misrepresented or misinterpreted her stances. Why is this language important? Well, because they're currently framing themselves as something that they're not. These individuals are not victims, and...
Wait, hang on. Okay, so this is from Coralie. She's quoting something from Collective Cunts. When I read the article about Collective Shout copying all the abuse from gamers, follow your recent success, I had tears streaming down my face for you all. Oh my God, this is someone that Collective Shout is actually, they put this on their website to garner sympathy. Oh my God, this is so fucking blatant. I had tears streaming down my face for you all. I know you guys copped it, but reading the article, I had to stop. I couldn't read to the end. But then it hit me. You guys don't get the option to switch this off. Thanks for standing in the firing line for all of us. Things are tight right now, but I dipped into my savings and I just made a donation to Collective Shout. I know it's a puddle. Oh my God. Oh my God. These fucking cunts scammed this woman out of literally her savings. Oh, no, Colonel, no. No, that is unfair. That is unfair to this woman to call her an idiot. I don't have any poor feelings towards this woman at all. She got scammed. This woman got scammed by these evil cunts at Collective Shout that are portraying themselves as being these righteous individuals fighting for the quote-unquote the greater good and are manipulating people, and they got this woman. Like, I don't see how the Collective Shout thinks this is a flex. Like, the Collective Shout thinks this is a flex because this right here is from their website. So Collective Shout actually took this woman's words and posted this on their website because this is like a snapshot from their website. It's a screenshot of a woman that actually went into her savings and is a mother of 2 daughters and went into her savings to donate to Collective Shout. And God only knows how much she donated from her savings. This makes Collective Shout look even more disgusting than they already were. That they conned some poor woman, a mother of 2 daughters, into donating to them, and absolutely nothing that these cunts are doing is for the benefit of this woman or her 2 daughters. Absolutely nothing that they are doing is for their benefit. The Collective Shout is all about consolidating power, and they don't actually care about this woman and her 2 daughters. And that makes it so fucking heartbreaking that they were able to con this woman into giving them money so they can go after video games instead of going after situations that involve actual women being trafficked, that involve actual women being the victim of sex crimes. Because Collective Shout does not go after these groups that actually victimize women in sex crimes. They don't go after governments and demand that they do something about the grooming and rape gangs in the UK or any other country for that matter. They don't go after governments to try and do something to stop the sex trafficking of victims, of women, of women, probably the age of these two daughters of this poor woman that got conned into this. This is like, Coralie, this is not a flex. This is making you and all of Collective Shout look even more disgusting and vile, and makes people hate you even more because you are clearly broadcasting that you are a bunch of power-hungry con artists. Fuck.
They're certainly not suffering. But if we take Coralie's screenshot as truth, then they are actively gleeful in taking money from women who are far less fortunate than them,
Yes.
who are dipping into their savings.
Yes.
This is not a good look. This group has an annual report that claims nearly $500,000 in donations were given to them, and they do not have full-time employees. So where is that money going, given all they do is blog post and send emails from the comforts of their AC-filled homes?
FBI, open up!
Send in the forensic accountants. And while you're at it, send in the computer nerds to start going through their hard drives.
Why do they need poor old Bernadette's cash? And how is that money going to stop me from continuing to...
Okay. I'm savvy, I'm sorry, I gotta correct this. Bernadette is not old. This is QLD, which I believe is Queensland something. Maybe Queensland District? That's what this is. It's the abbreviation for her generalized location of QLD. That's not O. That's not an O. That's a Q. So for the purposes of accuracy, I need to point that out.
Debt's cash. And how is that money going to stop me from continuing to post their own words? Either way, this is not something they should be boasting about.
And by the way, Fluffy, IRS doesn't work here because they're based in Australia. So whatever the Australian equivalent of IRS is.
Collective Shout wants to portray
You think it's
me
just
as a man,
okay? Could just be
and
an
that I am
abbreviation
causing
for
any
Queensland.
perceived wrongdoings. Well, ladies, keep on doing it. It works out better in the end for me when you lie endlessly, and then you get your buddies to try to frame me as a man because it makes it all the more sweet in the end when people do get to see the truth. If they're willing to lie about me in such a small way, what are they willing to lie about in a much larger way? We already know that they lie about qualifications, they lie about adult games being marketed to 12-year-olds. Never once a lick of proof has ever been presented by them. And I certainly wouldn't be shocked if most testimonial they claim to hear is all lies and embellishment.
Hey, we've seen some of the testimonials. We've seen some of the statements where they said, like, they worked with they claimed, I think this was a while ago, they claimed that they worked with a woman who was trafficked or a victim of a sex crime, and they claimed they worked with her, but they offered no receipts. Everything that they have claimed to have done, there are no receipts behind this. It's literally just a trust me bro, or I made it the fuck up. That's literally everything with Collective Shout. Is trust me bro, or my evidence is my proof is I made it the fuck up. That's literally all of it.
I just can't take them seriously when they need to lie about someone like me. But it doesn't end there. Because I've been both busy with a kitten and sorting through my research that I've been doing for over the past year, they decided to poke the bear once more after a few days, and I'm more than happy to oblige. Coralie chose a very specifically crafted tweet in order to continue to try to link me to violent threats. Not only was this account made this month, this year, but it is also a massive contradiction in the way that online trolls function, especially the violent threat archetype. You see, the last line is a complete giveaway. Not only would my supple-thighed followers know that I am the only woman being labeled a man, making the phrase a redundancy and excess text that conflicts with the fast retard typing of the rest of it before, but it's also the only reply. A one and done, not normal for the violent shit poster. Usually they operate in bursts, not a single tweet on a single account. They also carefully sprinkle in a lot of normal tweets so that way they don't lose the account so fast. The punctuation is also a contradiction to the sentence structure, but the video is...
Yeah. Like, I mean, look at the way this is crafted. If this was a shit poster, it would either have no punctuation at all or proper punctuation, not grossly misplaced exclamation points in hot spots.
Fast. The punctuation is also a contradiction to the sentence structure, but the video isn't about dissecting language, it is about Collective Shout's actions. Now, I also gave this advice live, and it seems that, well, Collective Shout took it to heart because now they're honing in on yet another account that says Hail Savvy, that may or may not be them, that may or may not have been made recently, that is somehow possibly maybe posting something that might look a little mean. Unsure, don't care. Point being, they're intentionally choosing individuals or creating posts to reference me.
And I have zero doubt that they would create these. I have zero doubt that Collective Shout would go to the lengths of literally creating accounts to basically shitpost or threaten them to make themselves look better. Because they're getting dark all about. There's realistically very few people that I have seen that have actually defended Collective Shout on any of this. Very, very few. And so it's like, literally, I mean, this account was made as grape/death deserved on, and I'm guessing this is Collective Shout. Yeah, you're going to tell me that they did make that as a throwaway account to basically just try and say, look at how much we're being victimized? It's not going to work. You've triggered the Tism. And believe me, Savvy is not the only one with the Tism that is looking hard at Collective Shout right now. In the words of one of my favorite Tism type people, you just raised an army against yourself. And for those of you who got that reference, bravo. I applaud you.
But ladies, I do have some advice once again. If you're going to fake accounts, turn off the location data. I've seen a bit too many brand new accounts trying a little too hard, being a little too close to home.
Tornado, you get a kiss. Good job.
Home for you. Accounts trying a little too hard, being a little too close to home for you. Anyway, Collective Shout are the useful idiots in the grander conversation relating to Roblox as Melinda sits on the shareholder board for whatever reason of the age verification trials, which will be used to shape the age-gate legislation Australia plans to implement.
Yeah.
She's not only part of the grand global wheel that is crushing everyone, but she's doing their work without realizing it. So yes, we will continue to expose them, their beliefs, their connections, but over the coming weeks, I wouldn't be shocked if things ramp up against me and I am mass reported. In the event that I am indeed mass reported and I lose access to my accounts, there are some people who have access to my personal comms, not Discord. I mean real measures for communication and whatnot, and they will help verify any secondary accounts if I create any, if needed. As of right now, I have none. So be sure to double check usernames just in case any scam crap is floating around. I hate to have to say this, but I've crossed that threshold on X, so have to sort of watch out for impersonators, which is very lame. Anyway,
Sucks.
less of a fun video, more of a, oh great, we've entered that stage of the cycle. Instead of backing up their claims of misinformation with evidence and corrections, they have only doubled down on stupidity and lies. Sorry, ladies, I can't keep focusing on you forever. I have much bigger fish to fry, but thank you, really, truly, for helping me get everyone against Visa and MasterCard. Without your ignorance and wanting to ban some of the biggest and most beloved games out there, I could have never gotten this many people to care because, to be quite honest, the not safe for work game market is actually very, very small and very niche. But
true story.
Thanks to your ignorance and addiction to power, this has now become a global conversation, and I have actually been afforded the honor of being able to interact with politicians globally because of it. Me, one single little tiny 106-pound woman in her basement with a sun allergy who almost never goes outside. While you've
Say new lore drop. So that's what she meant by disabled. Oh, shit. I did not know that Savvy had a sun allergy. Wow. Okay. Okay, that's... Yeah. Okay.
You've got what? You've had to call on British MPs, someone from the UN, other NGOs. You've gotten Australian news media personalities to block me. What has that done for you exactly? NCOS and you, Collective Shout, went from being ignored to having your social media presence now radioactive with your words shoved back at you. And your hypocrisies. Bonus meme!
Wow.
I got to report an individual to the UK authorities for the crime of misgendering me. Repeatedly, multiple times. And the only reason why I'm even bringing it up in this video is because they're directly related to Melinda of Collective Shout. I wonder if the police will cause a little impedance upon her appearance. Who knows? But I do find it funny that all of the worst people in the world just default to calling me a man for the small, small crime of being a woman who disagrees.
Since I can't get that sexy isekai, stuck here dreaming about slime girl thigh. Might as well take down the global sensorial machine. I want to read about men kissing. Who are you to call it obscene? Keep up the pressure, those processors can't cope. Let's give them a collective note.
That's a banger of an outro. I love it. I think that's what Savvy was working on. That was great. And yes, I think it would be perfectly acceptable to call Savvy a cool dude. I think Savvy would have no problem with that moniker.